Hi, I'm Carla. This is Joe. Thank you for joining us in practice. We'll be doing a general Iyengar class today, a few standing poses, some abdominal work, and you'll want to have just your basic yoga equipment. So for Iyengar yoga, you absolutely do need equipment. Some bricks are always useful, shoulder balance foams, or a lot of sturdy blankets. You might want a bolster for today's practice, and a strap is always a good to have. So basic Iyengar equipment. Again, listen to your body. This is an online platform. If you're not practicing inversions or if there's any poses in this practice that you feel uncomfortable doing, please just rather do a more beginner pose and listen to your body and come out of anything that feels uncomfortable or painful for you. Right, we're coming now to Swastikasana. Sitting in an upright position. In Swastikasana, if when you are seated with your legs crossed, your spine sags down and you're unable to get that extension up through the sides of the body, then taking some support underneath the buttocks. Folded blankets are good. Nice folded blanket or 2 or 3 or 4, however many you need, to come to Swastikasana, where the legs settle down. Sides of the body are nice and tall. Chest is well opened. Yeah, once you've got that extension of your spine, that openness in your chest, you're going to bring the hands together in the prayer position. On an exhalation, let the eyes close. The skin of your face is soft. The muscles of your face are released. Also make sure that you're not holding any tension in the shoulder region. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Release down into the elbows. Let the thighs settle down. The groins are passive and quiet. Lift your spine. From the buttock bones, lift the sides of the body. Lift and open your chest without rising the shoulders up to the ears. Keep a part of your body, of your brain focused on your body, maintaining this asana. Come to your breath. Feel how the pose is affected by the breath. Use that breath in to find that extension of the spine. Use the exhalation to keep the shoulder blades in, the abdomen drawn back to the spine. We'll begin class today with the 3 Oms. Empty the lungs completely, taking a full breath in. Be here with this stillness. Come back to your body. Notice if there were any areas that you dropped or slumped, any areas where tension crept in. On an exhalation, drop your head down, taking your chin to that little notch between the 2 collarbones. Release your hands onto your thighs. Lift your head up and open your eyes. We're going to come to Pajvasrastikasana just to warm up the spine. So taking a gentle twist to the right, off you go. As you take a twist to the right, you bring your left hand around to hold the outer right knee. Use the inhalation and this right hand to help lift up the spine and the sides of the body. And as you exhale, you wring out the spine, you wrap the abdominal organs around the spine, and you come to a deeper twist. The head, you turn right at the end if you don't have any neck issues. Release, come back to center. Find your Swastikasana again, where you're extending the sides of the body, and on an exhalation, returning to the left. You bring your right hand around. So it is just the first pose. We're not coming to a full deep twist. You can pull gently on that right hand, bring the right side of the chest around. Each inhalation, you find that openness in your chest, that length and lift of your spine, and you twist on the exhalation. And then release and come back to center. Change the cross of the legs. So if this is the cross of the legs that you don't usually sit in, it may feel a little bit awkward. Feel whether you need to take more height under the buttocks, perhaps adjusting the flesh of the buttocks back to bring you onto the buttock bones is what your pose needs. You can also take your hands next to you to lengthen the sides of the body and keep that lift up, or gripping into the knees to help open up the chest. Once your spine is fully erect, bring your hands again to the prayer position so you don't have the support of the hands. Close your eyes. Once more, you're coming back to your breath. So the breath is very powerful, connected to your asana. That inhalation keeps that alertness of the spine, but the exhalation also helps you to keep the pose free of tension. So soften the skin of the face, relax your shoulders. Relax the thighs and the knees down. Feel that there's no tension in the groins. As you inhale, you come up from the base of the spine, launch off the buttock bones, extend the spine fully. Feel your breath in the body. Feel how the breath affects this asana. Let your eyes open, and we're coming to a twist. Pajva Dandasana, Swastikasana. Pajva Swastikasana, you're turning to the side, also sometimes called Parivrita. Now what you want to do with this Pajva is we're going to roll this bicep out, and in doing so, take the back of your hand against the outer thigh. With that pressure, you turn some more, and with that openness of the bicep, you're opening up the chest. When you've been there for a few breaths, using an exhalation, come back to center. Stay here for a cycle of breath. When you're ready, returning to the other side. Once you're there, you turn that hand right from the bicep to get that openness in the chest so that that chest can open and come through in the twist. When you've been there for a few breaths, release back to Swastikasana. Relax for a few breaths, and we're coming to Supta Tadasana. So Supta means lying down or sleeping. You're going to lie straight down. If you need a blanket support for your head, you're going to take a blanket support for your head. You can start with your knees bent so that you move the flesh of the buttocks away and the spine is nice and long along the floor, and then extend your legs in Tadasana. Supta Tadasana is not Shavasana. You want to be active with your legs. So as if you were standing on your feet, extend into the inner line of the legs. So some people cannot keep their legs together. Take your legs only as close together as they can. If you need to keep the feet hip distance apart, take them apart as well. You're going to use a strap for this next pose that we are doing. Supta Tadasana. Relax your shoulders. Yes. Soften the shoulders, soften the neck. Hands are at your sides. You're extending the arms down, but you're keeping the sides of the body free, the chest nice and open. In Supta Tadasana, feel the alignment of your pelvic girdle over your shoulder girdle. You want to feel the balance of the sacrum and the buttocks along the floor. So get a sense that there's evenness there. And when we come to Supta Parangustasana 1, bringing the leg up at a 90 degrees, you want to keep that pelvis exactly and that torso exactly as it is. So bend up your right leg. You can give it a little hug in Ekapada Pavamutasana. Take a strap around the ball of the foot and holding the strap on either side, or the one hand on either side of the strap, you're straightening up the right leg. Now, when you come to Supta Parangustasana, you can start with the leg at 90 degrees. If you've been practicing for a while, you obviously will have more flexibility. With the leg at 90, stretch into the heel. Extend the toes towards you. You'll get a lovely stretch at the back of the leg. If you have any knee issues, take care of your knees by tightening the muscles around the knee joint. You want to keep that knee joint as straight as possible. All our focus and attention goes to the right leg here, but can you keep that left inner thigh rolling down so that this foot stays on the center back heel? Keep that left knee tightened also. So both knees absolutely tight. And with action in the legs, firmness in the knees, can you still soften your shoulders? You want to feel that these arms, as you pull, you're drawing the upper arm into the shoulder socket to keep the chest open. Now, extend into the big toe mound also. Extend the front leg, keep the knee strong. And if you're able to, keep this leg on track and keep the pelvis in a neutral position, you can start to widen the elbows and see, will that leg come closer? Can I keep that grounding leg down? Keep the softness in your shoulders. Don't pull with your teeth. You're not using grit. Each inhalation, extend the legs, spread the legs apart. Each exhalation, firm up the knees. You can bring your elbows to face your hips more so that the shoulder is released. You're taking your elbows up. And then coming to Supta Parangustasana number 2. Pajva Supta Parangustasana. You take both straps in your right hand, keeping this left leg grounded. It is sometimes helpful to either put the left hand on the thigh or to take your left hand out to the side in line with your shoulder. You'll take the right leg out to the side. Rest your right elbow on the floor. It's not the classic position, but it's the first part of your practice. You want to work here on getting that openness in the groins. The knees are strong. In this pose, all the weight tends to shift to the right. So exhale, and from this right heel, retract into the right hip and roll from the right hip to the left hip. Keep the left thigh and hip and buttock grounded. Same with the body. You want to turn from the right to the left. Pajva. If you have the flexibility, the capability, then keeping the legs strong, you want to lift the elbow off the floor and reach for your big toe. So it's Supta Parangustasana. Parangusta is your toe. When you're ready, you're going to bring the leg back to center. Hold the strap again. Hold with 2 hands. Open up the chest. Extend both legs. Find that extension on this right side of the body. Find a firmness in the right knee. Now, parivrita, we're coming to the turn. So you're going to take the straps in your left hand. At first, you can take that foot just past the groin and the opposite hip. It gives you a nice stretch in this glute. If you move the thigh away, it gives you even more stretch. Good sciatic stretch here. And then taking this left foot to where the right foot was, you can turn onto the small toe of the left foot as you bring your right hand all the way across. If you're fortunate and you landed on some support, if you cannot do the full twist, even better, take some support. If your foot is able to go to the floor, you take it to the floor. Here, it's a lovely twist. There's a narrowness in the pelvis. The spine is getting a nice stretch. We're going to bring the leg back up to the 90-degree position. Hug your knee into you again, and you'll extend the leg to the other leg in Tadasana, Supta Tadasana. Extend both legs. Move the flesh of the buttocks, adjust the flesh of the buttocks if you need, so that the pelvic girdle and the shoulder girdle are aligned and there's length and space in the back. Now, we're going to bend up the left leg. You can come this way again. Oh, you want to go to this for the side. Okay. You're going to bend up the left leg and take the strap around the ball of the foot. So first, we just want to be here. 90 degrees fine, where you're opening the chest, you're finding that balance between the leg holding the arms holding the leg. If your hands start to struggle holding the strap, wrap your hands around the strap so that you're not having to grip so much. It's just holding even more comfortably. Then the right leg, that thigh has to press to the floor, and you want to stretch the inner line of the leg away so that that foot stays in a Tadasana shape. As this right thigh grounds, as this left leg opens and extends and releases, you're going to start widening the elbows, keep the shoulders soft, keep the jaw and the teeth relaxed. You're not using grit. widen the elbows. Can you bring the leg closer to you? And you're trying to avoid having this big gap underneath your leg. So as you press that right thigh down, split the legs apart, come to your max. Again, elbows, tuck them down, soften the top shoulder. Make sure you're not clenching your teeth, you're not gritting your jaw to do this. There's a softness there while there's action here. To come to Pajva, you extend and hold both your straps in the left hand. Keep that right leg grounded, right leg hand either on the thigh or out to the side. It also can be useful even to move your right foot out to the side. But here, opening the pelvis, cranking that leg out to the left. Use your elbow to rest on. You can stay. You can use support for your leg if you're a beginner. You're opening the pelvis. Opening the pelvis. You want to keep length on this side of the body. Opening the pelvis, reaching your fingers to your toes. So your foot is being held there. So reach your fingers to your toes if you can. Good job. So Pajva is sometimes easier to hold the toes than in straight up. But if you're bending too much, then don't force it. But it is sometimes nice just to see, can you get there? When you're ready, you're going to bend that leg if you need to, or bring up a straight leg. And we're going to change the hold. Holding with the right hand, both straps, straighten both legs. Now, the first one, you're just bringing the legs slightly past that right hip and you're stopping there. There's a lovely stretch on that left side of the body. Keep the right thigh grounded. Keep the root of the left thigh moving away from your armpit. Then, when you're ready to go to the full twisted pose, move the right leg across, turn onto the small toe of the right foot and let that left leg come all the way down. Here, open up across the chest, stretch across the arms. It's quite a deep stretch, so if you cannot get your foot to the floor, you can either set up like we did the first time where the foot rested on the wall, or you can take a bolster to help support the leg. It does give a little bit more space in the sacrum. So twists, this is a deep twist. If you're menstruating, don't hold it very long. If you have any back issues, please be aware of your twists. Inhale, bring the leg back up. And then hugging the knee to Ekapada Pavamuktasana, releasing the back. Stretch the leg out into Supta Tadasana and just rest here for a moment. Right, so because we tried to shift away from the wall, we went off skew. So if you just lie straight again, we're coming from Supta Tadasana. We are now working a little bit into the abdomen. If your abdominals are weak, you might want to do these following poses with a slight bend in your knee. If your abdominals are weak, please work cautiously and be aware that you don't hurt your back in this pose. If you have a normal straight up yoga mat, you can grip the sides of the mat. That is one option. Also, if you're a beginner, taking the thumb just slightly under the buttocks, that is also helpful. If you have any back issues, that is very helpful. And if you're just tired and can't work so hard today, this position. Just to show very quickly the alternatives, you can take your arms out in line with your chest. Palms facing up is a little bit more challenging than palms facing down. Or you can take your arms all the way over your head, which is the most challenging of the lot. So hands at your sides or wherever you're going to place them, depending on your practice. And we're coming to Urdhva Prasarita Padasana. First up, we're taking both legs up. You can bend your knees or straight legs coming to a 90 degrees. If you are not very flexible and your legs are somewhere here, this is going to be super challenging for you to hold because your thighs are going to be working and not your abdomen. So if this is you and you don't have the flexibility to bring the legs to 90 and hold them at 90, then you're going to put your feet on the wall and you'll just have to work on flexibility first. In this position, there's a straight line from the hips to the ankles. The knees have to work strongly so that the legs are engaged. If you do struggle to keep your legs together and the knees clasped together, you can have either a shoulder balance foam to grip and hold the knees together, or something to hold the ankles together. It is a personal practice, yoga, so take whatever supports your body needs. In this pose, soften the shoulders, soften the throat. So if this for some people is work alone, if this is where you are working, this is where you're at. As you exhale, you keep the abdomen drawing back towards the spine, so the abdomen deflates. As you inhale, you lift and open the chest, you extend and strengthen the legs. We're going to work with gravity initially, and much easier, keeping the legs straight and strong. At the moment, if Jo looks at her legs without lifting her hands, she can see pretty much almost a whole leg. She's going to drop down until she just sees her knees beyond the horizon of her chest. So coming to 60 degrees. From 60 degrees, inhale, stretch the legs. As you exhale, abdomen deflates. Come down to 30, where you just see your toes. Soften the neck and throat. Exhale, release all the way down. You can hold these for as long as you wish. It's quite hard to hold them while I'm talking and making you hold them. So you have to do it and listen to your own body. We're going to repeat 3 cycles of that. So legs up to 90. Inhale, stretch the spine, stretch the legs. Exhale, deflate the abdomen, bring the legs down to 60 degrees. Stretch the legs on the inhalation. Exhale, take the legs down to 30 degrees. Stretch the spine and the legs. Exhale down all the way to the floor. And then next cycle, inhale as you exhale, legs up to 90. Stretch the legs, soften the shoulders. Try not to press your head into the floor. And again, exhale down to 60, stretch the legs. Next exhalation down to 30, stretch the legs. If you have the strength, don't go all the way down, hover over the floor on the next exhalation, and then all the way down on the next breath, or if you're strong enough, all the way up. Last cycle of these, down to 60, down to 30, keeping the abdomen pulling back, almost to the floor, hover, release, come down. At any point, if you feel any cramping and you need to release, you're going to stretch your arms over your head, stretch your legs, get a full extension in the abdomen. Right. Again, if your back struggles with this, bend your knees slightly. Then we are going to work against gravity. If you're not there yet, you're going to repeat what we just did, legs up to 90 and down in stages. Otherwise, we're going to lift the legs to 30 degrees, pause on an inhalation. Lift on the exhalation to 60 degrees, pause. Next exhalation, bringing the legs up to 90. Stretch the legs, stretch the spine, relax the shoulders. When you're ready, exhale down to 60. Next exhalation, bringing the legs down to 30. And then on the next exhalation, you can either hover or just come straight down. Straight down for now, relax. That completes 1 cycle. We're going to do another 3 cycles. And if you can go 2 or 3, whatever you can manage, or 1, and if you can do it with hovering and not resting on the floor, then go for it. If you get tired, and for the first one, you need to just start again with the legs from 90 degrees, then start from here and work with gravity. So when you're ready, off you go. This is the first cycle. Come down and start the second cycle. Legs up, either in stages or coming up all the way to 90, and then legs down in stages. You can rest on the floor in between. If you're strong enough to challenge yourself, don't, and come up to 30, emptying the abdomen up to 60, emptying the abdomen up to 90, and release. So as you get more and more tired, the angles do change and you end up, this is 90, this is 60, this is 30, and then come down. So keep a clear view of the angles. When you come down, exhale down to 60, you can see your toes. Look, you can see your knees. Exhale down to 30, you can see your toes. Exhale, hover and down. Right. Rest. Stretch the arms overhead. If you have another cycle or more in you and you want to work on these, pause the video and just work on them as much as you'd like. From here, we're going to roll onto your side. come to standing in Tadasana. We're going to do a little bit of a vinyasa practice. Come to standing at the front of your mat in Tadasana. Feet are together or as close together as you can get them. We'll come to Utkatasana first. Utkatasana is an intense, strong pose, and from there we're going straight into Uttanasana. So from Tadasana, legs are strong, thighs are alert. Relax your shoulders, shoulders away from the ears, abdomen back to the spine, front thighs back. Now, Urdhva Hastasana, arms up over your head. As you exhale into Utkatasana, you bend your knees, you search for a chair behind you, let the buttock flesh descend. Keep that abdominal firmness. When you can't hold Utkatasana anymore, release your hands down to the floor. If you need bricks, you'll take bricks. If you're able to do a normal full Uttanasana, from here, let go your head and straighten up your legs. Uttanasana. From Uttanasana, we're coming to Adho Mukha Svanasana. So if you're unable to lunge forward, this is a good practice to help you. So step the right foot back, come to a lunge. Nice deep lunge here. Taking the knee to the floor, turn the toes under. If you have any knee issues and it's uncomfortable to rest the knee on the floor, then you can have a blanket here to support the knee. Keeping the buttocks low, the shin pushed down. We're coming to Anjaneyasana. Anjaneyasana is a lunge. Exhale, descend the buttocks, move the buttock bones towards the divider of that knee. Stretch up the arms, breathe, breathe, breathe. When you're ready, you're going to exhale, release, taking your hands on either side of your left foot, turning the right toes under. We're going to lift up and bring that left foot back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Back to Adho Mukha Svanasana. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog pose. Open up the backs of the thighs, lengthen the spine, the sides of the body. Let go your head. We're going to step the right foot forward, coming to a lunge. If you can get the right foot in between the thumbs, then great. If you can't, and in stepping forward, your foot lands up here somewhere, you cannot step more, then you're going to use your hand to bring that foot forward. From here, step the left foot forward, come to Uttanasana, the full forward fold. Very good. Bending your knees, lift to Utkatasana. From Utkatasana, pushing into the feet, lift your shins up to straighten the legs, release the hands at your sides in Tadasana. Rest here in Tadasana. We're going to repeat this, working with the left leg now. So, Urdhva Hastasana, arms up, exhale, Utkatasana. Utkatasana, reach the buttocks down and back. Keep the abdomen firm to hold the pose. When you're ready, release down. Fold forward, straighten the legs if you can. Use your bricks if you need to. Now, with the hands ready, bend the knees, step the left foot back. And with the left foot fully extended, get that right leg into a nice bend. Then take the left leg down, turn the toes. The shin becomes the foot of your pose. And up you come. Keep this length in the lumbar by dropping that sacrum down, buttock flesh down. So you keep sitting into that right buttock bone. Good practice here to make sure that the toes of the front foot are not gripped, have the weight onto the heel. In Anjaneyasana, the lungs are long, you're breathing, so keep breathing. Then on an exhalation, you'll release your hands to the floor and turning the back toes under, step the right foot, coming to Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Head down, rest. When you're ready, step the left foot forward. If you need to use your hand, go for it. Step the right foot forward, coming to Uttanasana, the full forward fold. Let go the head, straighten the knees as much as you can. From here, bend the knees, keeping the buttocks low, keeping the shins light. Lift to Utkatasana. Utkatasana, bend, get the buttocks to descend. Again, lift the shin bone so that the weight isn't only plummeting to the toes, then pressing into the heels, reach your arms up, release the hands at your sides, Tadasana. Soft inhalations, soft exhalations. We've warmed up the body a bit now in preparation for Shirshasana. To quiet the mind and the breath in preparation for Shirshasana, we're going to do Prasarita Padottanasana, so legs apart. Outer edges of the feet are parallel to each other. The shins are, the arches are lifted, inner knees lifting, inner thighs gripped, and you extend forward, taking your fingertips under your shoulders. At first, be in this halfway position. This is a nice restful pose, gives the heart a chance to just sort of calm down, the breath a chance to find itself before coming to Shirshasana. On an exhalation, you'll move your hands back closer to your feet. Keeping that extension of the front body, the legs firm, you'll release the head down towards the floor. You'll tuck in your chin so that the crown of the head descends. And once you're down, you can move your hands further back. Keep the elbows in line with the shoulders, so don't let the elbows go wide. The palm of the hand can go right beyond the back of the heel. Legs are firm. There's a firmness and a gripping up of the thighs. There's a length in the spine. You want to feel the side ribs, even as if somebody's pulling your rib cage down. Get length in the sides of the body. Once you feel that you're ready for Shirshasana, you're going to move your hands back underneath the shoulders. Firm up the legs. If you can come up here, do. If you need to already heel toe in, then go for it. Otherwise, if you're able to come up with the legs wide like this, come up. And then again, once you're upright, heel toe in until you can either step or bring the legs together by jumping or stepping into Tadasana. We're going to prepare for Shirshasana. There's a few variations we're going to do in Shirshasana. If you're not doing Shirshasana, you're going to come to Supta Baddha Konasana. We're doing two Supta Baddha Konasanas today. The first Supta Baddha Konasana, you're going to keep the bolster lengthways like this. You've got a blanket for underneath your head. You're going to sit in front of the bolster. If you have a strap, it's quite useful to use as a support. For this Baddha Konasana support, we're going to take the strap, a nice big loop. You're going to thread it around you like a belt. Make sure that the metal bit is not going to touch any of your flesh and that you can pull and the tape, the strap tightens. Feet are together, you've hooked the strap over the feet. When you lie down, make sure that the bolster is centered. You've tightened it too much, untie it a little bit. So here the strap is in the back waist, and what you want is loose enough to come over, loosen it a little bit more. You want it wide enough to come down onto the middle buttock, over this thigh groin. And now lie down. Head and neck are supported by the blanket. Back of the neck is long. And here, if you need to tighten once you're down, then you can tighten once you're down. Feet are together. And what this Supta Baddha Konasana does, which is lovely with this support, if I move my feet away from my body, it should give you a little bit of traction. That strap should cup the buttocks down a little bit more if you've got it in the right place. If you've got it too high up in the back waist, then adjust it. Supta Baddha Konasana, you're going to be here for a few breaths. When you've been here for a few breaths, your variations are arms over your head. You'll take the arms right up and over, getting a lovely stretch. And then you'll bring the arms back, change the cross of the forearms, and take the arms overhead again. So if you're doing Supta Baddha Konasana, instead of your variation of Shirshasana, this is what you'll be doing. You're going to stay here, and if you're doing Shirshasana, we'll prepare for Shirshasana. To come up from Baddha Konasana, when you're ready, you'll unhook your strap, roll off, and come up. Shirshasana, you would like to take a blanket, so this way. You would like to take a blanket for Shirshasana. Right, so in Shirshasana, Shirshasana is balancing on your head. Again, if you've never done a Shirshasana in your life, now is not the time to do it. Shirshasana, the platform, your base is this triangle of the arm. So forming the triangle of the arm, keeping a cross of the fingers. If you're a regular practitioner of head balance, every now and then just remember to change the cross of the fingers. The shoulders are going to stay alert. You're going to place your head in preparation for Shirshasana. When you're ready, walk your feet, turn your toes under, walk your feet in to get your knees up. You need the flexibility in Shirshasana to have the buttocks kind of over the shoulders. That's very helpful to come up. If you're not that flexible, you're going to struggle with your Shirshasana. You need to keep the shoulders alert. When you're ready, up you go. You can go up with bent knees, you can go up with straight legs, you can go up any which way you want, but you're keeping these shoulders alert. The forearm is the foot of the pose, so you want to press that forearm in. The buttocks tend to hang to the floor. You want to lift the buttocks up to the heels to keep the back waist long. This also brings the feet over the head. So front thighs can go a little bit back. Your feet can come towards me a bit. In Shirshasana, your base is the forearms. You want to press the forearms into the floor. As you press the forearms into the floor, the upper arm lifts, the armpit opens up, the shoulder blades come into the body. They're nice and alert. Shirshasana, your gaze is soft. You're not looking at anything. Your focus is internal. You do this pose only as long as you can feel that there's lightness. Again, if you're not adept at this pose, be against the wall. If you've never done it before, try it first with a friend after a lot of practice, or find yourself a teacher in the area. There are variations that you can do in Shirshasana. These help you to build your endurance in holding Shirshasana. So, keeping the left leg up, you're going to bring the right leg down in Ekapada. For beginners, you might need to stop halfway. If you can, let the leg go down, but keep this leg back and upright. When you lift that right leg, lift the left leg also. So this is like what we did on the floor, Ekapada, coming back to Shirshasana, stabilize, then keeping that right leg lifted, bring the left leg down. Nice smooth movement. Use your exhalation. Let the exhalation take that foot down. Let the inhalations lengthen that left leg up. When you're ready, you lift both. Lift the shoulders. It's important with all your variations to keep that steadiness, that alertness in the shoulders. If you'd like to do Pashvaika Kapada is taking the leg out to the side. So keeping one leg absolutely straight, you're going to turn the opposite leg at an angle and then take that leg down towards in line with your shoulder. So it's like what we did on the floor, Pashva, taking the leg out to the side. You're doing the exact same thing here. Once the leg is up, you come back to Shirshasana. You find your balance. You find your stability. And then when you're ready, you turn and you bring the opposite leg down. With control, keep the shoulders alert. Use the breath. When you're ready, you come up. You come back to Shirshasana. You do as many variations, however many times you want. When you feel ready, alert the shoulders again, and you either come down bent legs, one leg at a time, or two straight legs. When you come down from Shirshasana, you absolutely want time to settle. So don't lift your head, rest down. You can rest, you can cross your hands and let your head rest on your hands. That's nice and releasing for some people. Other people might prefer more the classic child's pose, where you bring your hands back to the feet and here the shoulders are relaxed. And you can always, if your neck doesn't feel like it's getting enough release, and you want to lift your head and support on some height, you can always just fold up your blanket and let that height support you if that's comfortable for your neck. Once you've had a few moments of rest in Adho Mukha Virasana, we're going to come up. We're coming to Dandasana. Dandasana is a seated pose. Generally, yes, you want support for under the buttocks for seated poses if you need them. But for this Dandasana, we're working our way into Paripurna Navasana. So for this Dandasana, we're just going to take no support under the buttocks. Paripurna Navasana is the full boat pose. So if you don't know the boat, you can stay where you are. You can stay exactly where you are. In the full boat pose, your toes are higher than your eyes, your legs are strong, your spine is straight. You go into it from this Dandasana position if it's within your practice. So it's a lot of abdominal, also a little bit of strong leg work. So from Dandasana, to learn to go into Paripurna Navasana first, you're going to start by bending your knees, hug yourself to your knees, and just roll from side to side, meet your buttock bones. Now, you want to stay more on the buttock bones versus rounding your back to come to your sacrum. So it's not here. Lift up tall. Now, holding behind the knees, extend your chest up. You want to lean back a little bit, and you're going to lift your feet. But even as you lean back, can you get a sense that I'm pulling myself towards my buttock bones? Lifting your chest. First stage of Paripurna Navasana. And then if this goes okay, keep that abdomen taut and strong. Can you release your arms? Imagine you're holding onto a rope. Lift your chest. Exhale. Pull the abdomen back. Can you hold here, working the legs, working the abdomen? Keep the jaw and the throat and the shoulders soft. And then release and rest. And then when you want to try a second one, we're going to see for this next one, can we extend the legs a little bit, right? So we'll still hold the legs, right? Holding the legs, lift, find your balance. Lift your chest. Now, when you extend the legs, you straighten up and you see, can I pull myself up along the legs? Here, the toes are higher than eye level, which is exactly what you want. Keep lifting that back body, keep scrunching the abdomen, straightening the legs. At any point, when you need to rest, you rest. If you want to test, can I do it without my hands? Let go your hands. Can you hold? Can you hold? Can you hold? And then release and come down. So Paripurna Navasana is one of those poses that you just have to practice. There's many ways of taking support for the feet, support of a strap. All of those things are helpful, but it's all abdominal work. So work where you're at, where you feel that engagement in the abdomen. One more now. We'll see if we can lift up without using our hands. Hands out in front, lift the chest, lift the feet. Find your balance, and then if and when you're able to, you straighten the legs. If you can't straighten the legs, keep them bent. Bent, you're still working your abdomen. Straight, you're working abdomen and legs more. And then just play around. If you need to bend, you bend. What's my abdomen doing? What's my chest doing? When you've had enough, release and come down. Have a rest. Remember, Paripurna Navasana, you're going into it from Dandasana. So start to learn to slowly work with gravity to come to Dandasana out of Paripurna Navasana. And then as you develop, you'll work at lifting from Dandasana. So lots of things to practice, right? We're now going to come to Ardha Navasana. Fans of Paripurna Navasana don't necessarily like Ardha Navasana and the other way around. Ardha Navasana is the half boat. Here in Ardha Navasana, so the arms are here classically where you're on your sacrum, on my tailbone, my eyes are in line with my toes. Beginners can also come from here. So we'll start here. We'll start in the seated position. Arms are out in front of you as if the arms are sturdy as if you're being held. Now in Ardha Navasana, the back rounds a little bit. So round the back, drop down, and at some point your feet need to lift up and then straighten your legs. Yes. Straighten the legs. So for some people, this doesn't help the arms in front. See how you go. Practice it, and then release and come down. Rest. Another way to practice it is to keep the feet down. To hold, you can stay down. To hold, contract the abdomen, hold, and just stay there. And then you'll be here for a few breaths. And then when you feel ready to extend the legs, you extend the legs, right? So when you're ready, up you come, and let's go. Emptying the abdomen, stay off your back, around the back here, control the abdomen, and then extend the legs. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And then see, do you have the strength to come up again? Don't just drop down. rest. Classic Ardha Navasana, you're going to come from Shavasana into Ardha Navasana. You can also use your arms at your sides to pull you up. So see how that goes. Inhale and exhale and lift up. So that also works if you find it strenuous to have the hands at your neck. When you've held it for a few breaths, you release. The best way to release after these abdominals is to stretch the arms overhead, stretch your legs in the opposite direction. Just get this delicious openness. And then bending your knees, roll onto your side and come up. Okay, for today's restorative, instead of shoulder balance for today, you will be doing Setu Bandha. Setu Bandha, you can either do it using your 4 shoulder balance foams. So if you're not doing shoulder balance, if shoulder balance is not within your practice, you're doing Setu Bandha on 4 foams, okay? You'll have your 4 foams stacked like that. And let me just show quickly. When you come into it, you want your sacrum to end up on the foam. So I stretch out one leg because it's quite a drop down to get into your Setu Bandha here. The other way you can come into it, if you're not using the foams or if you don't have foams, you can do classic Setu Bandha with the brick. So lying on your back, you bend your knees, and you lift your hips, you place the brick on the tall point on its tailbone, if that's manageable for you. If you can't get it that high, take it down a notch, it's fine. Here, you're getting a lovely stretch in the abdomen. You're getting a little bit of that Jalandhara Bandha shape that you get in shoulder balance. If you're able to extend your legs, you extend your legs. If that catches your back, you bend your legs. So you're either in Setu Bandha on bricks or on your foams, settling in Setu Bandha, bent legs or straight legs, or if inversions are part of your practice, we are now going to come to Salamba Sarvangasana. So when you're ready, bend your knees. To come out of Baddha Konasana, you lift up, drop your brick down, extend the spine to settle down. Lift up, drop the brick down, extend the spine from the neck to the tailbone until you're flat on the floor. Then you can roll onto your side to come up. For shoulder balance, you want the support of your strap. So you want the support of your strap from outer shoulder to outer shoulder. Again, in Iyengar Yoga, we have support for underneath the shoulder base, either for shoulder balance foams, or you can just take a bunch of blankets, sturdy kind of throws that you can stack up to get a nice support. We use the support because when you do shoulder balance, so if you tuck in your chin and you feel that bony bit that sticks out, C7, if you're doing shoulder balance flat and you're doing a lot of it and you do it regularly, they have found that C7 can take quite a bit of strain and there's a little bit of degeneration. This support helps you with that. So you're going to lie down with your shoulders on the support, your head on the blanket. You want the shoulders to land up, sorry, Joe, to land up, you can lie down, on that support. So if you have a look from the top of her shoulder, there's this space here of support that her top shoulder can roll onto. Earlobe lines up with the edge of the support. She's got her strap hooked in her hand or her elbow so she knows where it is when she needs it. Using your hands underneath your butt. Again, if you cannot do a halasana, you would set up with a chair or a wall. I will be Joe's wall to show you. You kick your feet over your head, you bring your feet to the wall or on top of a chair, and there is your halasana shape. If you're able to, you can take your feet to the floor for halasana. I'll just fold this blanket up so that you've got the grip of the mat on the toes. Lifting the sides of the body, put the strap on. Strap comes on the upper arm. It's nice to have your skin to support, skin on skin, so you can unclip your shirt. And then either one leg at a time or 2 legs coming to Salamba Sarvangasana. Salamba Sarvangasana, shoulder balance. Salamba means with support. It's referring to the support of the hands on the back. The support of the hands on the back, bring the shoulder blades in, bring the back body in, so that the buttocks have a chance of lining up over the shoulders. Once the buttocks are in, the front thighs go back, and you line up from the ankle to the knee, to the hip, to the shoulder joint, one straight plumb line. Make sure that the neck feels free, so the back of the neck is long, the throat is soft. If this is uncomfortable for you, chat to a teacher in your area and see how you can play around with supports, because sometimes more height is better. Keep moving your thighs back, keep lengthening and opening the sides of the body and the spine. Open the front groins, front thighs back. Once you're in, your gaze is towards your heart center. Center heart, soft gaze, or the solar plexus region. And you be still there. Sarvangasana is the inversion that's easiest to hold for longest. It's certainly easier than handstands and Pincha Mayurasana. So this is the pose where you really get to be upside down for a length of time. Very beneficial for the cardiovascular, the lymphatic system, also super beneficial for the endocrine system. If it's within your practice to do variations, then you can do the exact same variations we did in head balance. So Ekapada, one leg, keeping that back leg back, that back leg lifted, exhaling, bringing this leg down smoothly. If you can get your foot on the floor, you can use the grip of the foot to really stabilize and get the hips level. Remember, when you lift that leg, lift both legs so that there's lightness. And then you're going to take the opposite leg down. As you bring that opposite leg down, keep that top leg straight and extended, and keep lifting the opposite hip. You don't want the hips to go too skew. So one side is definitely going to be easier than another. When you're ready, lift both legs. From Sarvangasana, you can also do Pajvakapada. And actually here you have a better view. So when you turn the foot out at the side, take it out to the side, strong legs, only as far as you can go, and up you come. When you back up, stabilize your shoulder balance, find that correction in your alignment, then turn the other foot and go to Pajvakapada on the other side. If you're not doing inversions, just stay in Salamba Sarvangasana. If you cannot stay in Salamba Sarvangasana, then come down whenever you're ready. After inversions, come to a full, correct, beautiful Salamba Sarvangasana. So this is the last imprint you have of this pose. And then releasing your legs over to Halasana. In Halasana, you want to remove your strap, set it aside, and then roll out, protecting your back. You either want to come out of it. So one way of releasing, so all the way, one way of releasing is to keep your head and your shoulders on the same support. I find that not as comfortable as releasing the other way, where you come down and your shoulders are off support and the head is supported. And this is a release. So take time to release. There was a massive stretch on the back of the neck. The top shoulders were bearing weight here. Let there be rest. Let there be recovery. Find your breath. Find some stillness in the neck, the shoulders. Find some relaxation. We are finishing off with a supported Supta Baddha Konasana. So those of you who have come out of shoulder balance, come out. If you're still in Setu Bandha, also come out. You're going to move all your supports out of the way. In this supported Supta Baddha Konasana, it is nice to have the support of two bolsters. However, two bolsters is generally a luxury for many. So what you're going to have is your one bolster. This is quite a flat but sturdy bolster. And because it's quite flat, I'm going to get an extra blanket on it just to give a little bit more height. Now, we're working the supports as a T-junction. So if you had a second bolster, you'd put the second bolster there. But for most people who don't have a second bolster, you're going to take your shoulder balance foams and you're going to make them a T-junction there. You can use your strap for this. It's a bit fiddly, so we won't use the strap. You're going to sit on this T end. And then when you lie down, you're going to drag yourself until your shoulders are on the floor, so that the armpit comes to the bolster edge. So drag until the shoulders are on the floor. More. You can take your feet to the sides and just, yeah. Back of the neck is long. So once the shoulders are on the floor, you can take your arms just at the sides so that they're free from the bolster. Feel that that support is level on your back, and then bring your feet to Baddha Konasana. Yes. Baddha Konasana, the feet are together, the groins are open. Relax the shoulders here. If the wall's in the way, you can just do little cactus arms. That also works. So fold the other arm as well. Here, relax, close your eyes. You're still getting a little bit of that Jalandhara Bandha shape that you had in shoulder balance. Back of the neck needs to be long, the throat soft, exactly the same way as you had in shoulder balance. And the abdomen is completely supported here, the back part of the abdominal cavity. So let the abdominal contents settle, let there be a release. There's also a lovely extension, there's a broadness. So this whole abdominal basin has a chance to just settle. If you tightened in the diaphragm when you were doing some of your abdominals, if you cramped in the diaphragm is supported in such a way here that it gives you a really nice release also. We're holding Supta Baddha Konasana in this manner as a restorative after the abdominals. But this pose is very, very beneficial for women. Done in this way, it's a really beneficial for the respiratory, listen to me, the reproductive organs, the digestive organs, all the systems that are in that abdominal cavity. It is also nice for the respiratory system because you've got a nice openness in your chest, softness in the throat. To come out of this pose, you want to come out of it gently. So bring your knees together to start off with. Then you can just take them apart onto the floor and let there be a resting here. From here, you'll roll onto your side or swing yourself up, whatever's comfortable for you. Come onto all fours. And we're going to move all of these props off the mat. And you're only keeping whatever props you want or may need for your Shavasana. Shavasana, it is nice to have a folded blanket for your head. If you want it, make sure that you fold it. So head to the other side, actually. Make sure that you fold it so that there's no creases in the blanket that are going to disturb you. And then the head and the neck are supported by the blankets. When you're ready, you lie down, keep your knees bent. Keeping the knees bent, you get a nice movement of the flesh of the buttocks towards the heels. The back waist lengthens nicely. Relax your shoulders to the floor. Make sure that the neck is supported. Back of the neck is long, throat is soft. You don't need a blanket at all, do you? Let's move it. It's only nice for a little bit of softness, but if it's not necessary, release it. Then you're going to extend the legs. Once you are in Supta Tadasana, there has to be a release of the body. So let the shoulders rest. You can move the arms slightly away from the body. The bicep rolls up so that the palm faces up to the ceiling. The legs also have to release in the same manner. So let go of the groins, let the inner thigh roll to the outer thigh. The feet just flop to the side. With the eyes closed, take your focus to your breath. Each exhalation, you can completely relax the body. Each exhalation, let go of any tightness in the muscles, any holding on hard of the joints. Make sure that all of the body is completely relaxed and released. Soft, quiet, peaceful inhalations. Soft, gentle, passive exhalations. Just be with your breath. Shavasana is a conscious relaxation, so you shouldn't really fall asleep, but if that happens, it's what your body needs at this time. But Try and be present with your body. Use the breath as a mantra to hold you in this quiet Shavasana state. Exhalation, letting go of any tension and hardness in the body. Exhalation, letting go of any toxins in the body, along with that carbon dioxide. The exhalation, letting go of any thoughts, just keeping you in this focused state. Exhalations are really helpful to get you settling into a Shavasana state. And you want to come out of Shavasana only when you're ready. Using your inhalation, start to breathe a little bit deeper. Those inhalations bringing life back to the body in the form of this oxygen, pranic energy. Let that prana move to every cell of the body. That inhalation slowly bringing you to the surface of consciousness. You back to your body and your breath on the mat. Bring your hands anywhere to rest on your torso. Connect with your breath once more. Next breath in, stretch your arms over your head. Give your body a long, deep stretch. You can yawn or sigh the breath out. Now, bending your knees, slowly roll onto your right side. Use your right arm as a pillow to cradle your head. The left side of the body holds you in this quiet Shavasana state for a little while longer. When you feel ready, you're going to use your left hand, pressing into the floor, almost finish rolling. Lift your shoulders first, lift your head up last, and just work your way into a comfortable seated position. Once you're seated, lift up your spine, open up your chest, bring your hands into the prayer position, let the eyes remain closed. Soft inhalations and exhalations here, just checking in with your body. Feel your breath in your body. Take a moment to give thanks for the health and strength of your body. When you feel ready, let the eyes gently just flutter open and focus. Namaste. Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Joe. We'll see you in the next class.